Welcome back. This game just man, if there is a better example of how Toronto struggles at home than this is a team that has now lost what 6 in a row at home in the playoffs. That shouldn't be a thing. And keep in mind, the tickets are extremely expensive. So whenever anybody says that the team seems kind of dead, it might be because the real fans that are really noisy can't afford tickets in the seven, eight, $900 range to watch this. Swayman versus Samsonov. Nylander returns to the lineup. Good early back and forth. Tavares to Marner near miss. Shattenkirk has a shot that deflects wide. The Bruins have a 2-on-1 that gets broken up. The teams exchange turnovers. Then there's too many Bruins on the ice, so the Leafs go to the power play. There's an early clear. There's a shorthanded Marchand chance that's saved. They clear it out again. Then there's a net feed to Bertuzzi near miss. Bruins clear after that. Robertson has a shot that's saved. Domi fires one wide. The power play's killed off. One shot on net for Toronto on their power play. Shots are 2-1 for Boston at 6.5 minutes. Boston did a good job tonight of dictating the play, and this was Boston's pace. This was Boston's game the whole way through. And if the Leafs are going to have a chance, they have to come out and dictate the play the way they want to play. And I don't know that they can do that in Boston. So good forechecking by the Bruins. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Marner. So Bruins go to the power play. They cycle. McAvoy fires one wide. It's cleared. Cleared again. Bruins cycle. It's cleared again after that. Samsonov poke checks Zacha. Power play's killed off. No chances for Boston on their power play. Things then get pushy on a hold by Swayman. The teams exchange turnovers. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Marner's denied and close. The Bruins rush. And then we have 54 seconds of a 4-on-3 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. There's an early clear. Nylander has a shot that's blocked. There's a shorthanded rush by Coyle. Then the Bruins cleared out again. Bertuzzi to Yarncroke near miss. Power plays killed off one shot. I don't know if there's anybody who's had more chances in 4 games in these playoffs than Yarncroke, but it feels like there's been a lot, and it's not going in the net for him. So I don't know how you fix that. But then at 15:09 on their fourth shot, Van Riemsdyk goes 5-hole on a turnover that was forced by Lowry, and James Van Riemsdyk makes it 1-0 for the Boston Bruins. Bruins then look for another. Nylander has a backhander on hold that's a backhander that's held on a net drive. Again, I start talking a little too fast to get ahead of myself. The Leafs are going for the high shots on Swayman. That was the book, was that they've been shooting low. They've been shooting low too much. But here's the thing. That kind of proves that he's in their head. Swayman can be beaten down low. I'm not saying that he's not good down low, because he is, but he can be beaten down low. And if you're going to decide, well, we're not going to take those shots, we want to go for the high shots, those are the ones that are very likely to miss the net as well. So the Bruins press are kept to the outside. There's a near miss for Geekie on a net drive. Nylander has the last minute rush that's defended. It's 1-0 for Boston after one. Second period, Domi's denied during an early press by Toronto. Tavares has a slot shot that's blocked. The Bruins rush. There's a net feed to Holmberg that gets picked off. The Bruins forecheck sets up a press. Carlo misses one wide from the slot. The Bruins press at 4 minutes. Lyubushkin had a net drive chance that's saved. Things are pushy on a hold by Samsonov. The shots are 3-2 Toronto at 6.5 minutes. We then get a power play for Boston. There's an early clear. There's another, but the Bruins would set up. They cycle, and Marchand buries a one-timer from the right circle. McAvoy and Coyle with the assists at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. It's 2-0 Boston. And again, Marchand, who is not... He's been productive this season, but it feels like against Toronto, he's on that whole next level. And 2-0 Boston. The Bruins 6 for 12 on the power play. As of that power play in the series, that's just not going to work. The Leafs look to respond. Matthews has a shot that's held. Keep in mind that Matthews apparently has been dealing with food poisoning, so we'll see what effect that has on the rest of this. The Leafs press at the half. They're kept to the outside. Lowry has a shot that's held. There's some pushing. Pastrnak has a net feed that's blocked. Leafs press with 7 minutes left. Lindholm has a screenshot that's held. Tavares has a 3-on-2 chance that's caught and held. The quiet crowd, definitely noticeable, down 2. Now what this does is it means that it's pretty easy for Boston to communicate out on the ice, tune out everything else that's going on and focus. And it doesn't give that energy boost to the Leafs either, right? Because for the Leafs, they're down 2-0. And the Leafs at that point are seen arguing on the bench. Matthews, Marner, Nylander, all arguing back and forth with one another. Nylander, basically, you got to take shots. but Boston wasn't giving him a path to the net. So the frustration here is Boston's basically strangling the middle of the ice. Toronto can't get the shots that they rely on to get goals, and Boston's not going to change the way they're playing. Obviously, they're just going to keep blocking out the middle of the ice. And I am sure the Bruins were well aware that the Leafs are arguing with each other on the bench. And then when they showed the Bruins bench, they were just talking amongst themselves and, okay, next shift we're going to do this. Like, totally different mood on the benches, even though it's only in the second period. Like, it's only in the second period. It's only 2-0. You're at home. The fighting like that probably shouldn't be happening, although I understand it. So Tavares has a net drive that's blocked. He wanted a call there. This is also something for the Leafs they've been mad about. But again, you got to play through it. Wotherspoon has a one-timer that's kicked aside. The Bruins are ensuring that Lindholm and Carlo defend on the Matthews line, to the point where if there's a face-off, Lindholm had one leg over the boards ready to come on as soon as that puck drops. So Lowry's out there, the puck drops, the Leafs win the face-off, Lowry leaves, and immediately Lindholm's on the ice. He's blanketing the Leafs. I talked about it in the series preview. Lindholm's going to be asked to do a lot of things, big minutes, and he's performing quite well. Marner has a screenshot that's held. Pastrnak has a net feed that's picked off. But then in 1917, so it's that dagger that it's in the final minute, Boston makes it 3-0. It's Pastrnak from Marchand and Zacha. And that's on a 2-on-1 on a net drive. The Leafs look to respond. There's boos at the horn. This is the first time ever, for me, that the Bruins have been up by 3 after the second period, and I'm not celebrating. I'm bewildered at what I'm watching here. The Leafs should be a better team than this. This absolutely is not acceptable on any level. Third period, and I'm saying that as a Bruins fan, like, what is happening? Like, before the series started, I was like, you know what? The Leafs have lost so many times early in the playoffs. I feel bad for them. I kind of, like, because I don't necessarily know that I see Boston winning a cup. Hey, I'd love for them to. But I felt like, if Toronto knocks out Boston this year, I'm not happy about it, but I'd be okay with that. Like, because they need this. They need this win. This core desperately needs this win. It doesn't look like it's going to happen unless there's a remarkable comeback coming. So to start the third period, Wall is in. Now, I don't think Samsonov was the problem. His stats weren't great through 2 periods. I don't think it was on him. I don't know which of those 3 goals he was meant to stop. Yes, the Van Riemsdyk one's 5-hole, but it's on a turnover and it's a quick play. It's a one-timer by Marchand, and it's Pastrnak on a 2-on-1, right? So Lowry fires one wide on a rush. The teams exchanged turnovers. The Leafs were pressured every time they went in the Bruins zone. The Bruins just fantastic defensive work by Boston. No shots on net in the first 3 minutes, which Boston loves that. They're up by 3. Lyubushkin thought maybe he had scored. The fans thought maybe he did as well. The play continues, and it was crossbar that he hit instead of the net. So the Bruins press at 4.5 minutes, and again, whenever Toronto gets into their zone, it's a swarming defense. But at 5:42, Marner buries a backhand in close. It's a nice goal. It's his first of the playoffs. Lyubushkin and Bertuzzi with the assists. So it's 3-1, and now you're looking for that big momentum shift, right? Well, DeBrusk has a rush that's defended. Nylander's denied, the rebound's cleared. The shots are 3-0 Toronto, 7.5 minutes in. Yarncroke has a shot that deflects out, and this is where they announced Matthews would return tonight. So again, rumors that he'd been dealing with food poisoning, and so he wasn't feeling optimal, feeling kind of weak, and absolutely, I cannot imagine trying to play an NHL hockey game when you've been dealing with food poisoning, or at the very least the symptoms. But yeah, so rough one there. Pastrnak then tips one wide. The Leafs rush the other way. Yarncroke has a shot that's blocked. The Bruins were forced to ice it. So Toronto had opportunities here, and Boston was pinned down a bit. Just they couldn't get that goal. Edmondson's then absolutely denied twice as the Leafs press. So Swayman doing his job here tonight and doing it well. Then there's an offensive zone penalty by Nylander, which is strictly out of frustration, I think. I think this is strictly Toronto trying so hard and getting so frustrated, and that's what will end up happening. So there's an early cycle. DeBrusk's denied and close. The Leafs clear it again. The Bruins struggle to set up late. That power play's killed off. The Leafs rush, but they have two minutes less now on the clock in order to get back into it. Coyle to Geeky, that gets blocked. Pastrnak has a rush chance that's saved with 5:43 left. The the Leafs get a power play on an offensive zone penalty by Pastrnak. Interestingly enough, DeBrusk went to the box. They thought it was on DeBrusk, and then DeBrusk got to come out because DeBrusk could have been penalized on that play too. Could have been 5-on-3, I guess, but they called the Pastrnak penalty. Early clear, the Leafs then go offside. So this is where the Leafs power play is at this point. They go offside there. Bruins clear again. Yarncroke fires one wide. Puck's cleared out. Power play's killed off. Not a shot on net. And so the booing is getting louder again. The fans who have paid a lot of money to watch this, not getting what they want. Now, I don't take shots at Sheldon Keefe, but I will admit I kind of chuckled when I saw Ryan Reeves on the fourth line out there with 3.5 minutes left. You're down by 2 goals. I understand Austin Matthews isn't on the bench. I get it. The fourth line is not getting you the goal you need to get within 1 against Boston. It's not going to happen. So I'm not sure what the thought process was there. That's where you're shortening your bench. Your first and second line, maybe your third line gets out there, but yeah, it's weird. So the goalie pull happens with 2:30 left. They would have pulled the goalie earlier, but because the fourth line for the Leafs was out there, the Bruins got out and they got some zone time. Bertuzzi has a shot that's blocked by Tavares. So this is where the Keystone Cops part comes in for the Leafs. Riley has a stick die. If you take the last 2.5 minutes and put it to Benny Hill music, I think it'd match up. The Leafs cycle, the Bruins ice it with 1:31 left. Domi then has a shot that's blocked by Bertuzzi. They were hitting their own guys in front of the net. So I understand setting a screen. That's not how it works. 18.6 seconds left. The Bruins ice it. Doesn't matter. And then the really embarrassing part, and the reason that the WTF magnet's on the board, and I've never used the WTF magnet. Whoever's doing the graphics for Sportsnet, wow. It puts Boston wins series on the Chiron. Didn't say Boston leads 3-1. It said Boston wins series. So that was queued up. Or somebody typed it in, Boston wins series. Almost to the point where I was going to rewind my television and just take a picture of the screen and post that to my Instagram because, wow. Boston wins series. No, they're up 3-1, but it feels like they've won the series. The Leafs are just taking themselves right out of this one. I don't know if Nylander was 100%. We know Matthews wasn't 100%. And I don't know. I don't know that Toronto can come back from Boston. I think that Game 5's probably going to be it. Shots on net, 8-7 Boston in the first, 9 apiece in the second, 10-5 Toronto in the third. Final shots, 26-22 for Toronto. Power plays, 1 for 3 for Boston, 0 for 3 for Toronto. Hits, 62-35 for Toronto. So you can't say, oh, it's their soft team and too easy to play against. They had 62 hits. Swayman, 25 saves on 26 shots. He is definitely in their heads. Samsonov, 14 saves on 17 shots. Wall only had 5 shots to face in the third period. He saved them all. I think you have to go back to Samsonov for Game 5, though. I'd be very surprised if they don't. Because, again, I don't think Samsonov cost them this game. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. This series has been fascinating. And, again, I kind of feel bad. Like, it's happening again. It's happening to Toronto again. This is a team that year after year after year, I'm thinking, maybe, why not? Look at the talent. And then, nope. So we'll see what happens in Game 5. 3-1 series comebacks have happened before, but it doesn't feel like it's in the offing here. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.